Hi. The video you are about to watch is the culmination of nearly 4 years of my pain and suffering. This is a cautionary tale. After allowing this pain to build and fester within my being, this, which you are watching now, is my release. Viewer discretion is advised.
What is your deepest regret? Is it not asking out your crush in high school? Is it not going to school for another profession? Is it not meeting me sooner? Personally, I can tell you what mine is without any hesitation. It's my purchase of a Toshiba 42-inch Smart 4K Ultra HD with Dolby Vision Amazon Fire TV Edition TV. The year is 2020. Despite everything, I have successfully secured my place within the first round of pre-orders for Sony's brand new, up-and-coming PlayStation 5. I was going to be one of the first people on the planet to experience the newest advancements in console gaming. Fast forward 2 months and I was going to be kicking back, enjoying Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Okay, so it didn't launch with that many games to begin with. But we had Miles Morales pretty soon, and at that point it was just fun to play Ghost of Tsushima 3 more times. As I anticipated the arrival of my newest source of serotonin, it dawned on me. I was going to experience the PS5 on this. I was effectively purchasing a Ferrari to only drive it through school zones. One of the biggest leaps of this purchase was supposed to be jumping from a measly HD to a crisp, count the pores on Joel Miller's face 4K. When I plugged my FunStation 5 into this HD TV, was I even going to notice a difference? I knew something had to be done. The day before my PS5 shipped started like any other day. I didn't find myself in any special place that morning, it was just a typical Wednesday. But when I began my usual perusing of the World Wide Web, I found myself hatching a fiendish scheme. You see, the PlayStation 5 launched in November of 2020. You know another notable event that takes place in November? Black Friday. I raced to my local Best Buy. I burst through the doors and scanned the store for deals. My eyes fell on the very center of the establishment. A pallet full of TVs with a sale sign above them. This was exactly what I was looking for. As I stepped closer, I caught a glimpse of the name that would ring in my head for years to come. Toshiba Smart 4K Amazon Fire TV Edition. Unbeknownst to how many times I would look back on this very moment, wishing I could change the outcome, I did not browse. After all, why should I? This TV seemed to check all my boxes. It was smart, it was 4K, and it was affordable. I gleefully approached the counter, handed the employee my wallet, and left the store, pleased with my shiny new purchase. Somewhere after my exit from the store, I made my second grave mistake. I threw out the receipt. I don't know why I did this. In fact, I have no memory of doing so. I can only posit that in my excitement I thought, what is this icky, gross piece of paper? This isn't my TV. This isn't part of my TV. Why did they give me this? Garbage. In less than 14 days, I would search far and wide for that gross, icky piece of paper. But I would not find it. The Toshiba Smart 4K Amazon Fire TV Edition was, from what I can surmise, a joint venture between Toshiba and Amazon, where Toshiba had a TV and Amazon had some software, and then they were both out for a walk on the street and they bumped into each other and dropped their belongings, and Toshiba was like, "Hey, you got your software in my TV." And Amazon was like, "No, you got your TV in my software." And then they looked down and they were like, "Hey." Then they plugged in their accidental collaboration, watched an 8-minute YouTube video on it, and decided to mass manufacture and sell it without testing it any further. Within a week of me setting up my Toshiba Smart 4K Amazon Fire TV Edition, it did a funny thing. It shut off. Huh, that was funny, I thought to myself. What a strange thing for a TV to do. Allow me to just turn it back on. And so I did. Returning to feeling like Spider-Man, I was taken aback when, a mere 5 minutes later, once again the screen went black. So the Toshiba Smart 4K Amazon Fire TV edition had this funny little quirk. Countless hours of research led me to discover that there was an issue with the backlight. This TV was too powerful for its own good. In any given session of use, after about 45 minutes, the backlight would overheat, causing it to just shut off. This proved to be even more annoying than what I initially thought the problem actually was. Because you see, the TV wasn't actually shutting off, just the backlight was. I'd find myself watching an episode of Better Call Saul when all of a sudden the screen would cut out, but the audio wouldn't. I could still hear what was happening, but I couldn't see it. Hey, what does TV stand for again? What's the second tele something? A quick Google search after my second encounter with this issue revealed that I was far from the only one with this problem. Countless forum posts, reviews, and tech support sites all reported the same issue. Every once in a while, you'd see a solution. The TV has backlight settings, go in and adjust the strength from 100 down to 80, and turn off dynamic backlight. This fixed the issue for me. To my joy, I tried this, and it worked. For a time. While it was frustrating that this brand new TV had to be dialed back from its fully advertised potential in order to function, I was glad to have moved past the problem. A few months passed when I found myself in a Warzone match experiencing deja vu. Mid-firefight, I lost total visual. Trying not to panic, I checked my TV's settings. They were correct. Sadly, this solution that I found was merely a temporary one. After a while, no matter what the backlight was set to, it would go dim. Returning to the web, I found other so-called solutions that produced the same result. Try a factory reset. Have you tried turning it off and turning it back on again? Check if the TV has any updates available. It could be the sleep timer setting, make sure that's off. Have you tried turning it off and turning it back on again? Make sure all the cords are properly connected and plugged in. One solution suggested replacing the motherboard. Another had a more nuanced solution. Tear open the back of the TV, shove a fan in there to cool the backlight, and close it back up. Have you tried restarting the TV? Sometimes it made no difference, sometimes it would fix it for a time, but the end result was always the same. The TV had a mind of its own, and I was powerless to change it. Sadly, kinship in my struggle was not enough to console me. I began to accept what I thought was my reality. Whenever I was using my TV around the 40-minute mark, whatever I was doing, watching YouTube, playing Bugsnax, I would find a good place to pause, shut off my TV, fully unplug my TV, walk away, and come back in 5 minutes in order to be good to go for another 40 to an hour. Let me tell you now, this is no way to live. You might think it's not so bad. Who needs more than 40 minutes of screen time at a time anyway? Maybe this is a good thing. Maybe it's just enforcing much-needed breaks in your gaming sessions. I too held this delusion at one point in time. You'd think maybe this is better for your mental health. But then as soon as you decide you want to watch a movie and you realize you're going to be interrupted at least twice, you're going to be overcome with a desire to drop-kick your own skull. What made this entire ordeal so much worse was the small part of me that believed, oh, it might just fix itself. I was plagued by hope. Because the messed up thing is, sometimes it would just work. There are times where I'd boot it up with no issues. I'd watch entire movies uninterrupted. I'd game for hours. There was no guarantee that it would work, but there was also no guarantee that it wouldn't work. This is where the real issue lies. If I had purchased this TV, plugged it in, and it immediately shorted out, causing an electrical fire, I would have been less frustrated, because then I would have just given up. If this TV caught fire, I would have complained to Best Buy. I would have thrown it in the dumpster. I would have contacted an attorney, but that's not what happened. Instead, I found myself sitting down daily at a roulette table, betting whether I was going to have a normal viewing session or shave another year off my lifespan. Subject to my very own unique gambler's fallacy, this TV's great gambit was to give me hope. Because of hope, I never stopped trying. This TV was just the right amount of broken for me to keep rolling the dice. I'd continue searching forum posts. It's been nearly 2 years, I'd think to myself. Surely someone's come up with a solution by now. When I came up dry, I'd resort to gaslighting with my own solutions. Hey, how well do I really know my apartment? Maybe it's the outlet that's a problem. What if I relocate my TV and plug it in somewhere else? Surely that will make a difference. Right now, it's plugged into a surge protector. Maybe it can't get enough power through there. Maybe there's another firmware update. As I sank deeper and deeper into madness, I found myself continuously performing mental triple axles in an attempt to somehow pivot the blame onto myself. Because surely I must be using this product incorrectly. There must be something that I, the consumer, am doing wrong. Because in my naive state, even after years of reading product reviews and forum posts, I still couldn't even consider the possibility that a product could be released in this state without any repercussions. This TV filled me with a rage like no other. My childlike naivete became replaced with a scorching disdain for this device, the companies that manufactured, approved, and sold it to me, and myself for trusting them. You might remember the year where I purchased this TV? Yeah, there were other things going on in the world, but there was one key element at play here: isolation. This situation was exacerbated by me being trapped with it. What else was there for me to do but go to work and escape to my TV? What was meant to be my comfort instead became my torment. My own home became a prison, where the bars were made of drywall and the warden was a Toshiba Smart 4K Amazon Fire TV edition. Okay, but now we're in the home stretch. Maybe all this anger wasn't just directed at this TV. Maybe all this anger wasn't just directed at this TV. It's entirely possible that in the wake of other current events and circumstances, that this TV became sort of a punching bag for me to let all my feelings out onto. But that doesn't mean it didn't deserve it. The day that I finally let go of this TV was the day that I finally accepted that this wasn't my fault. I simply bought a product and expected it to work. What part of that was unreasonable? No matter how many times I beat myself up over losing the receipt, or not looking at customer reviews beforehand, or not even trying to take it to Best Buy the moment the issue first occurred, receipt or no, it doesn't change the fact that this product was released in a broken state. If I was the only one that experienced the problem, that's on me. But when countless others have had the same issue, that's on the company. At the end of the day, my only failure was faith in the system. And as someone who can be a very cynical person at times, I don't think that's so bad. It has now been 2 years since I used this TV. I still have it, but it serves no purpose. I can't sell it. What would I say? Selling TV doesn't work. It seems like it works, but trust me, it doesn't. And how would that make me any better than the monsters who sold it to me in the first place? I could throw it out, but I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to just throw a TV in a dumpster, right? I think that's bad. What was once the final puzzle piece in my quest for next generation gaming is now nothing more than a prop for a YouTube video that I'm going to show 6 people instead of paying for therapy. Part of me wants to smash it, but somehow that feels wrong. I mean, it kind of works. Sometimes I ask myself, am I being ungrateful? Have I squandered a gift and treated it as a curse? I mean, the picture is fine, the sound works, it still technically works at the end of the day. Is the TV really ruined by this one small detail? Best Buy is still selling these TVs, meaning there are still people out there falling for Toshiba's mental saw trap. Even at first glance, the reviews seem mostly positive. It's only when you look deeper that the real suspicions start to arise. On Amazon's own website, the average score is 4.4 out of 5, but these convenient little tags that they've got here for mentioned features reveal a much deeper story. 55 customer reviews mention the screen. None of them are positive. And that's just the people that went out of their way to write a review. I didn't. It seems that the best case scenario is to keep returning and exchanging the TVs until eventually you get one that works, only for it to fail completely 2 years later. There seem to be some that have bought this TV and experienced no issues, but why take the chance? Also, if someone buys a TV and it works fine for 2 years and then just quits one day, how many of those people are really going out of their way to write or rewrite a product review? Now, I'm not suggesting that these numbers are inflated or these reviews are fake, because I have no evidence of that, and I don't even know if it really goes that deep. I just don't know if people care enough, to be honest with you. I mean, it's been nearly 4 years since I bought this TV, and I'm just making this video now. Up until this point, I've warned whoever I can. Whenever I hear a friend discussing purchasing a new TV, I urge them, buy any one but this one. Just last month, during Prime Days, I had 2 friends ask, Hey, you had one of those Amazon TVs, right? Was it really that bad? Because the deals look pretty good. I purchased this device and suffered, and it has now come to my attention that I must do all I can to ensure others do not befall the same fate. I cannot recommend that anyone purchase this television. If you are in the market, no matter how desperate you are, no matter what the price is, do not buy. Some deals are too good to be true.